rugged coastlines, industrial cities, rural landscapes and historic castles. Ulster has a wealth of places to see and explore. For centuries, the comings and goings of folk between Ulster and Scotland have left their mark on our landscape and people. I'm Lolly Spence, and in this short series, I'll be visiting some of the most stunning visitor attractions Northern Ireland has to offer, many of them steeped in Ulster-Scots history. Today we're travelling to County Antrim and visiting Slemish Mountain and the village of Glenarm, which are both appealing destinations for walkers. Visitors to Northern Ireland are spoilt for choice in terms of things to do and places to explore, and you'd be surprised how many of these attractions have connections to Scotland. Our first stop, Slemish Mountain, overlooks the town of Ballymena, which was built on land given to a Scottish laird, William Adair, by King Charles I in 1626. Slemish really stands out in this rural landscape because of its unusual appearance. It's known as a volcanic plug, and it was formed many years ago following a period of intense volcanic activity in this area. Slemish Mountain is accessible all year round and attracts many hikers. The mountain rises about 437 metres above the surrounding landscape. As you travel around the towns and villages in this rural part of County Antrim, you'll hear a lot of words and phrases being used which sound very Scottish. These are known as Ulster-Scots words and phrases, and over 3,000 of them were collected by a local writer and school teacher called James Fenton, and he published them in this wonderful book, The Hamely Tongue. To hear some of this authentic Ulster-Scots language, we can go back to the poetry of James Orr, who was a County Antrim poet writing in the late 1700s. His poem, The Wanderer, is actually set on Slemish Mountain here during a terrible gale. "Was there," she axed, "the wanderer's rap against the pane the lassie scarred? The blast that brayed on Slemish tap would hardly let a hate be heard. A freen," he cried, "for common crimes tossed through the kintra fore and aft. Merlown," quo' she, "these are woeful times, the herds aboon me on the laft." "I called," he whispered, "wi' a wicht, wham aft I've helped wi' haun and purse. He wadna let me stay a nicht, while sic a hurt's a greater curse. But Lazy's gentler, hark that hail, this piercing nicht is rocher far. Come round," she said, "and shun the gale. I'm going to slip aside the bar. Wae's me, how wat ye're, gace your hat, and dry your face with something, hey. In sic a taken, weel I wat, I would preserve my greatest fay. We'll mak nae fire, the picket bowld makes see the licht, and maybe stop. But I'll sit up, my bed's no cold, gae tilt a wee, and tak a nap." The Wanderer describes the plight of a desperate man seeking refuge in a cottage near Slemish during a storm. When you come here to this landscape, the poem really comes to life. We're travelling 19 kilometres northeast to the first of the 9 glens of Antrim. At the foot of the glen stands the charming village of Glenarm, with its Georgian streets, well-preserved architecture and rich Ulster-Scots heritage. Well, now I'm standing on an old stone footbridge which crosses the beautiful Glenarm River. And look what's behind me. This fabulous medieval-looking old stone gatehouse, built of basalt with Scottish red sandstone, which was brought over here a couple of hundred years ago. Much older than the Barbican Tower itself is the coat of arms, which you can see on a plaque above the door. This dates from 1636 and it's the coat of arms of the MacDonald family. The plaque tells us that Randall MacDonald, the Earl of Antrim, built his castle in 1636 with his wife, Dame Eilish O'Neill. The MacDonald family first arrived in Glenarm from Scotland in the late 14th century when John Moore MacDonald married Marjorie Bissett, heiress to the Glens of Antrim. This beautiful castle is Glenarm Castle and it's the home of the Earls of Antrim. The first castle in Glenarm actually dates from 1242. It was built on the other side of the river, but this one was built by the MacDonalds, Randall MacDonald, the first Earl of Antrim, in the early 1600s. Today it's the home of his descendant, also called Randall MacDonald, who's actually the 15th Earl of Antrim. The walled garden at Glenarm Castle is a popular tourist attraction. Over the past 20 years, it has been carefully restored and is evolving as a centre of horticultural excellence. So it's off season now and the herbs in the herb garden aren't in bloom, but look at this beautiful circular yew hedge all around us. This is one of the oldest features of this garden and it dates from the early 1800s. So this grassy feature that I'm climbing up now is known as the Mount, and it was created some years ago as part of the restoration of the castle's parklands. So here we are on top of the Mount, and haven't we got brilliant views? Over there, that's Scotland, that's the Mull of Kintyre. Behind us we have these beautiful walled gardens, and look out here to the south, this magnificent parkland. The picturesque village of Glenarm attracts lots of visitors. Film location scouts have even chosen it as a scenic backdrop for television dramas. St Patrick's Church of Ireland is one of Glenarm's hidden gems. It's one of the earliest examples in Ulster of Gothic architecture in a religious building. Glenarm is the first of the famous green glens of Antrim, and I can see the beautiful glens there dropping down into the Irish Sea. Just on the other side there I can see the Mull of Kintyre, which is in Scotland. Glenarm here geographically, and it claims to be the oldest village in Ulster, sits right at the heart of an ancient sea kingdom called Dalriada, and Dalriada many centuries ago comprised the northeast of Ulster and the southwest of Scotland. For over 200 years, visitors have come from far and wide to take in the stunning views of the North and East Antrim coastlines and visit our tourist attractions. So it's no surprise that many forms of accommodation have popped up here. We have some really great accommodation choices along the East Antrim coast. There's hotels and guest houses, Airbnbs, and then the more unconventional choice like this fabulous glamping pod. And with views like those across the Irish Sea, we can't forget our Ulster-Scots connections.